everyone, welcome back to our channel startuplanes.com. I am More Tanvi, and as you know, these are the series of interviews that we are conducting for the promotion of some excellent startups across our country. Now the question is that why you should watch this interview. You should watch this interview if you are a job seeker. You should watch this interview if you want to invest. You should watch this interview to learn from the best ever experiences which our founders and CEOs have. Remember one thing, experience is the best teacher you can have ever. Today's interview we have Ms. Sonali, who is the CEO and founder of Koitopedia. They are an edtech social enterprise startup focusing on sex education and sexual wellness and health. They are a team of management professionals, engineers, doctors, and passionate individuals driven to change the state of sex education and wellness using technology. The founders include alumni from ISB, IMI, NIT. Now, the introduction of the interviewee, that is Sonali, is she has completed her MBA from IMI Delhi and is an alum of Hansraj, that is DU. Her goal is to transform the sex education industry in India, and Koitopedia is her dream project. She aims to make sex education a dinner table conversation and remove the social stigma associated with sex education. Previously, she was working as a country head in Singapore and had experience of leading high-functional teams, sales, business development, fundraising. She has worked across multiple countries including Singapore, UAE, Hong Kong, India. Koitopedia, she leads the marketing, business development, sales vertical and also contributes to design, content and tech verticals. So let's know more about this wonderful startup from Sonali herself. So good afternoon, ma'am. I am More Tanvi from Startup Lanes, and we are very grateful to have you on the board for this interview.
Hi, thanks Tanvi. Thanks for having me over.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I will please request you to introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi everyone, my name is Sonali and I work with a company called Koitopedia. Koitopedia is basically a sex education platform wherein we want to change the phase in the way we look at sex education in our country today. We would be targeting different set of people through our platform. These people can be school kids, can be college going students, can be adults like us, can be our parents, anybody under the sun. Objective is very simple and clear here, that we want to make sex education a dinner table conversation. So sex education is not necessarily talking about sex, you're talking about puberty, you're talking about relationships, safe sex practices, STIs, pregnancy, abuse, how to prevent abuse. So a lot of topics, and we want to become a platform wherein if anybody has any questions related to these topics, they can come find the right answer. Any information that is available on our website or platform is totally free from myths or any kind of wrong information is not there at all. Apart from it, if you want to consult with a therapist, you want to get your queries addressed to a doctor and you're too shy to meet them in person, you can do a online consultation with our psychologists or doctors or therapists. Apart from it, yes, obviously if you want to improve on your sex life, etc., we have collaborated with a couple of partners wherein you can purchase products like different kind of products. We're talking about lubricants, we're talking about sex toys, birth control options. So basically that. So we want to become a holistic one-stop shop, one-stop solution for our users primarily.
Yeah, and that's neat for an hour for sure. So my very first question to you is that how did you come up with this idea of startup?
So Koitopedia happened to me when I was back based in Singapore, and I always wanted to do something in education industry per se, but never thought of sex education. And so we had a personal experience, and I realized with a couple of friends as well that people, however educated they might be, not everybody is aware of their basic bodies, what's going on. If I pose a question to people today like where are sperms produced in your body, or let's say where does pregnancy happen in your body, nobody will even know. And then if some complication happens, you go to a doctor would typically give you medical jargons which you cannot understand. But you have a basic right to understand what's going on in your body. And we realized that we were privileged enough that we could study in the best of the places in this country, working in the best of the companies, and still we have zero information, or I would say very less information about our bodies. And this struck me hard, and then I thought, okay, leave everything aside, I have to work on this. I have to go back to India, probably create that environment wherein people who are willing to get informed, or who are willing to learn, can at least get some right information. That was the objective. Yeah.
Okay. So ma'am,
And this
couple
all
of minutes
started.
back, you mentioned that these topics are not so normalized in India. So I want to know that what was the most difficult part in the early stages of the journey?
So when we started, like, I came back to India in August of 2019, and I spent a good year trying to understand the psyche of the people, the consumers, which we might attend to at the later stage. So we created a lot of, group analysis. We spoke with a lot of friends, parents, doctors, and the sooner I said the word sex education, people were like, no, this is not needed. This won't work in India. Like, it is not required. Dude, the minute your child gets married, you're after their life that, have a child. If you'll never teach them the basic of, how do you have a child, what do you expect? Where will they learn from? If as a parent you are not comfortable teaching your child about their own bodies, where do you expect them to learn from? And then what happens is people go on social media websites, or probably they're going on Google trying to look for information. They come across porn websites, and most of the information, let's be real, whatever is shown in movies is never real, right?
Yeah.
So people make a lot of myths, people create a lot of misconceptions. So this is primarily it's a huge concern, and this is where after speaking to a lot of people, I realized, okay, since they don't want it, I have to necessarily bring it here, because they don't know what they're missing on, and they don't at least if we can't change our parents or their generation, can we bring about a environment or a society which is safe for our kids? Basically, they should have the choice to explore their sexuality, know what they want from their life. I would want to give my child a place where they can walk on the middle of the road without being worried, what clothes they're wearing. Somebody will tease them, somebody will question on their character. It's their choice, So this was basically the turning point. People are not at all willing to accept the product. Very small segment is actually wanting to try, or probably explore the information. Another, cool understanding was that people do want to know about all these stuff,
but they're not open about it.
Yeah, they're willing to read 50 Shades of Grey, watch E.L. James movies. Everything is there, right? But what will happen is they want to do it in their privacy. They want to do it on Google in incognito mode. They just don't want to talk about it with anybody. People are not comfortable discussing their sexual preferences with their spouses. In fact, it is bad in India. So this was the initial challenge after doing a lot of research, understanding, and then we thought, okay, what is the best way going about it? And which is where Coitopedia was born last year in 2020 in March. So we started working, then started researching, and finally you see it as what it is today. Yeah.
Yes. So ma'am, what was the market gap that you identified?
Actually, I would say that a market gap is only identified when people know that they need something. Sometimes you are launching a product which people feel that it is not needed. Sex education is certainly not needed in our country. They don't realize that we are a country of Kama Sutra. You go to these temples in Orissa, you can see everything on the wall, right? And you're just not comfortable talking about it. So this was the biggest gap. How do you convince people that this is needed? This is needed for the safety of your child, to improve your own life. People in India, unfortunately, I think the fun quotient is very less, because as per the global researchers also, the happiness quotient in our country is definitely very low. People don't know how to make themselves happy, how to communicate. Basically, if I talk about sex toys, I would just say it and people would start looking here and there. You would have seen and experienced at your household also. If there is a movie scene in wherein the couple is kissing or something, you would have to necessarily look here and there if you're sitting and watching it with your parents. And it's so imbibed that even if you're not sitting with your parents, you would want to look away. It's something to be ashamed of or shy of. What's the deal? Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
Okay. So ma'am, answering my earlier questions, you have explained the gist of products and services you provide, but still I want you to, specify your products and services which you provide to your customers.
Sure. So we have a three-tiered approach. First is so definitely we have a website which is full of information. It's more like an encyclopedia of sex ed, right? So we have a lot of information there. Now we want to use that information and reach out to the right audience. For me, the right audience are the kids today, like people aged between 8 to probably 18 years, those who are about to experience puberty or going through puberty. I want to normalize the concept of sex, bodies, pubic area, all that. I want to make it normal for those kids, so that when they grow, they're not looking at it as if it is something really strange. So I want them to be comfortable with their own bodies. So we want to conduct workshop for kids, not teaching them about sex, but basically teaching them about puberty, how to navigate through it, how to save yourself from bully or any kind of sexual harassment. Unfortunately, 53% of the kids in our country have gone through child abuse, and these are the reported numbers. Imagine 90% cases do not even get reported. So I'm pretty sure 4 out of 5 kids in this country have been touched wrong, talked to wrongly, or probably have been abused. So how do you protect the kid? By teaching them the basics, by teaching them good touch, bad touch, teaching them the value of consent. Everything is important. So this is our first product, wherein we want to conduct workshop for school kids. Simultaneously, we also want to conduct workshop for college going students, people at workplaces, wherein you're teaching them about how to maintain the boundaries at workplace and safe sex practices. All that will come for them. So those workshops are first product for us. Second would be that we would be going about the consultations. At many a times people are going through some kind of dilemma or confusion or probably problems in their life, and most are due to sexual reasons, and they don't know where to go and how to talk to people because they're too ashamed. So we want to create that safe environment for all these people. It's very minimal fees. You can just book a session online. This feature will be coming to our website in less than 10 days. So you can just book a session, these doctors, medical experts or therapists, counselors, and discuss with them and go through it in a very medical or probably safe way, instead of just navigating through Google. So that's another product that we'll be coming up with. And third is obviously we want to bring products related to sexual wellness on one platform. Today you talk of lubricants, you talk of condoms, you talk of female condoms, there are birth control implants. So many options are available, sex toys are available. For pregnancy, there are so many products which can really ease the life of a woman. So there are a lot of products that are available, but they're not accessible because they're not sold openly in our country. We just want to provide that one platform wherein people can comfortably come and purchase without being bothered. So that's menstrual products. Like everybody is going ahead and buying pads, but why can't you explore about tampons, menstrual cups? There are so many things that are available. So we want to just give them one platform where they can come, look for anything related to their sexual mental health or probably sexual wellness or education and find the solution there. So eventually this is the plan.
Okay, ma'am. So answering this question, you have mentioned your target customer. Like you mentioned that who are willing to know about their sexual wellness and all, they can purchase your product or come to you. Then also you mentioned the age between the people you want to target, but still I want you to specify your target customers.
So currently, thanks to COVID, it's not been easy to reach out to school kids. Our current target audience is anywhere between aged 18 to aged 35. These are the people we are primarily targeting at the moment. We've been conducting workshops with college going students and basically around safe sex practices, consent, sexuality, all that. And we have been conducting therapy sessions for people who need advice or help related to their sex life or their mental health or anything like that. So these are the probably 18 to 35 is our age group which we are catering to at the moment. Yes.
Okay, so ma'am, you provide services regarding counseling. Also, you provide some products which will help the customers. Also, I just wanted to ask that why does a customer have to choose your company for these products? Because these services are available on other platforms, but in a different form, of course. But then why they should choose you as the provider?
So actually, I'm not saying that we'll be creating our own products at any point in time. We are typically collaborating with biggest of the brands in India who are legal, who are authentic, and who are selling safe products. So we are collaborating with these organizations, and we would be just representing ourselves as a place wherein people can purchase these products. So let's say if I talk to you and I tell you, okay, lubricants are available in the market. Now in the first place you would be like, what is lubricant? So you can go and check the content on the website and understand, okay, this is the lubricant. Now you need to know what kind of a lubricant will work with what kind of a condom or probably contraception that you are using. So and if you are allergic to a product or not, so you need to know what all brands are available. Otherwise the safest option for somebody today to if they want a lube, probably they will go and buy a Durex. But there are a lot of other products in this country which are made from natural products and are not at all harmful for the body. So we want to just give them the range of the options. So let's say if you buy directly from Durex, you're only purchasing one product, right? You're purchasing from one brand, but you're not aware of 10 such brands which are probably cheaper, better quality that are available, right? So we want to give you that platform wherein you can compare between those 10 products as well and then purchase, make an informed decision. So do not buy a Van Heusen shirt from Van Heusen website. You would probably go to Amazon, look for Peter England, Van Heusen, or all the Gucci's, Armani's of the world, whatever is available there, and you would want to purchase, right? So that is how it will be. Like, look at the plethora of options that you have and then choose one.
Okay, great. So ma'am, the next thing I want to ask that this startup itself is very innovative and unique as per me, but still I want to ask that what are the 3 main unique features of your company or startup that differs you from others?
So I think the biggest differentiation factor is that we have is we have doctors in our team. So most of the people, they're selling products at time, but how do you know the authenticity or what the product entails? Whatever we do, the content we put out there, it's researched at least 8-10 times and then certified by a couple of doctors, mostly procured by doctors. So the content that we have or whatever options we are giving, they're all medically fit for a person. So you don't need to worry that okay, if I use this or if I consume this information, it might harm me in some way or the other. So everything is authentic. This is one. Then second thing is that we are trying to reach out to the masses without expecting them to pay us immediately. At the moment, our focus is that we create that community, create that awareness, and we want people to be coming to us rather than us going to them at the moment. And obviously we provide the safe environment. So if in case you are conducting a therapy session with somebody from my therapy team, the discussion between you and the therapist will never come out. It's the policies are such, the agreements that we sign are such that the discussion is totally discreet. Nobody will know it apart from you and your therapist, and the information is safe. So you feel safe that okay, I can go ahead and share my personal life with someone, because these topics are extremely private and personal for everyone. So creating that safe environment in the first place is very critical. And to my surprise, when I started this, obviously I got a lot of slashback from a lot of people that this won't work, this is not needed, and what are you doing? And people do call me names as well. But at the end of the day, when you get questions from people who are genuinely concerned and you're able to help them, there is nothing better than that. That feeling is really rewarding, that you're able to change somebody's life for better, probably try to solve one of their problems. Yeah.
I'm sure, ma'am. So, ma'am, the next thing I want to ask you, that we have talked about the customers, the consumers. Now, I want to ask you that if a job applicant is searching for a job, why he or she should choose, your company to work with?
Okay, and that's a pretty interesting question. In the first place, you can be working into a technical company or any place else, but working in such a different environment and in such a different kind of a context is, I think, something which is really exciting. You get to learn new things every day, and you get to explore a lot. And this is a very sensitive topic, right? So in fact, I think it's related to a little bit of social cause as well.
Yeah.
So it helps you get that self-satisfaction as well, that you're doing something for the society, you're making it become a better place, instead of just running to India Gate with candlelight marches because you're opposing some, harassment. You are actually trying to change things at ground so that you can prevent that from happening. So that self-satisfaction, and obviously our team is very robust, very enthusiastic team. We are a very young team, and I think I'm the oldest in my team at the moment. But yeah, people are extremely young, energetic. We brainstorm a lot. We come up with new ideas, and good thing is that if anything that a person says, it doesn't matter, what profile are you coming at. You're never looked upon as a junior employee or anything. You're looked upon as a partner. Your each and every opinion would be valued. It would be heard. Nothing would be ever slashed, or nobody would, the culture is pretty dynamic. People would not shout on you, or there is no such culture. And even if you are just a college graduate or still studying in college as an intern, and if you're working with us, you would be treated as important probably as the partner of the organization, and your opinions are equally important to us. So we value all that, and I think it's a great learning opportunity for somebody coming from that background and that age. It's a great learning opportunity.
That's
and my
great, ma'am.
biggest motto that for everybody in life, you need a first stepping stone to start, right? Mostly people are looking for experience before they hire you. I believe in giving opportunity to people who do not have experience. I want to give them that experience so that they can learn. That's the difference. So we definitely want to give a lot of chances to freshers. We just need people who have extreme drive, passion towards what we are doing, and they understand and they really, really want to make the difference to what we are doing.
The next thing I want to ask that, as you mentioned, you commenced your business in 2019. So I want to ask that if not this company, what else you would be doing right now?
So the idea was, in my head since 2019. We only got incorporated in October of 2020. And I think I left a very established, good job to be pursuing this. I was based out of Singapore, working with a startup as a country head, and I let that go to, be working in this niche. So if not for my own organization, I would have definitely joined any other organization who's working in the similar space. Probably we working with United Nations and such organizations that are making changes at the ground level and want to really change the face of sex education. So definitely there.
Okay. So ma'am, as you mentioned, currently you are an online business. So I want to ask that, what are the different things or products you need in your daily routine of your business?
So currently, like I said, we're barely 8-9 month old organization, and more so on a day-to-day basis, we are interacting with people through our social media platforms. Like we conduct sessions, live sessions, wherein we're trying to educate people, or they can ask their questions. We are addressing their questions on a one-to-one, chat platform, or we're trying to conduct therapy sessions for them. So I think major products that we use would be like social media wise, it would be Facebook, Instagram, or otherwise, if not product, we are engaging in services with the therapists and medical practitioners. These are primarily the things that we are depending on at the moment.
Okay. So moving the similar direction, I want to ask that which are the parameters do you select while selecting the vendors and suppliers?
So we do not have any vendor or supplier at the moment. For team members, if I have to say, like our collaborators, doctors, practitioners, etc., that would be basically their drive, their intent. And if I am promoting somebody's, if it is a collaboration and I'm promoting somebody's product, then it would be definitely the authenticity of the product, the authenticity and the passion of the person who's running that product, and how genuine and good quality is the product for my users. Like if it would not suit me and if it doesn't match my criteria, it would never be a good product for my audience. So basically those are the primary factors that I keep in mind before I engage with anyone.
Okay. Ma'am, coming to an end for this interview, I want to ask that what is your recent and long-term plans for your business?
So at the moment, my biggest plan is that, I want to grow our online community, launch our therapy and medical counseling session in a big fashion. We have just tested it 2 months ago, and I see that, we are already getting good response. So once probably COVID subsides, we would want to go ahead with this in a big way. apart from it, we would want to approach schools as well, so that we can conduct these sessions at least in schools and colleges, the probably anti-harassment classes or self-defense classes, or basically talking about puberty, etc. And probably by this year end, if we are not able to, let's say, reach out to schools directly because of COVID, schools are not opening, etc., then I would definitely want to reach out to kids. So, and I would want to give them information in a fun way. So we're coming up with a comic series which will be talking about each and every phase of life, puberty, etc., etc. So basically, it's oriented for kids at the moment, and the entire information will be presented to them in a very fun way, but yet educational way. So we will be talking about puberty, we'll be talking about consent, we'll be talking about good touch, bad touch, sexuality, everything for that matter there. And lastly, obviously, in the long run, let's say 3 to 5 years, maybe this platform wherein we can bring together all the products. Right now, it's just individual collaborations that we are doing. Maybe a proper platform can be built in 3 to 5 years for selling the products. Yeah.
My next question to you is that are you planning to raise external funds, and if not now, then are you planning to do so in the near future?
So definitely yes. At the moment, we are testing out our bits of the products in the market, and just so that we get to know whether it is needed, not needed, or how would the outcome be. Once I'm very confident, okay, these things will definitely work because we're testing at the moment, I would definitely want to go to an investor and ask them for money so that we can grow big time. But not at this, because I don't want to take money from someone and not do justice to it. So it's very important. So it's all bootstrapped at the moment. Everything is going from my own savings. But definitely in the long run, we would need some kind of funding support. So maybe next year sometime.
Okay. Ma'am, lastly, I would love to hear feedback on our company. And if you want to thank someone from your friends and family or team, then you can do so.
Okay, great. So I think Startup Lanes is a very interesting platform. I came across this platform, I think in January this year, when we spoke with, I had a word with Shishir online. But yeah, it's a great platform for startups to communicate, express themselves, and reach out to a wider audience, reach out to obviously investors directly, get mentorship done. And I think people need voice to present themselves, to represent themselves, and Startup Lanes is that voice for individuals, I would say. So it's a great initiative by Shishir for sure. And with respect to Koitopedia, I think mostly it's my partner Akshay who had been my support since the beginning of the journey, and he's been standing tall with me even today. So it's because of him that I've been able to work on Koitopedia so freely. So yeah, thanks to him.
Yeah, ma'am, that's great. It was a great session, and thank you so much for your time and your crucial words. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tanvi, for having me over. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.